Hi, I hope you're well. Today I want to talk about how to stop putting off your dreams. So, I hear from so many of you, and it seems like everyone's in one of two categories. The first is you have a dream that you want to pursue, but you feel super scared to do it. You have a lot of self-doubt, a lot of fear, or you tell yourself that you don't know how to do it. So you procrastinate and you've been putting that dream off until you're ready, until it's the perfect time. Second category is not knowing what you want to do with your life. You feel overwhelmed by the choice. You don't feel perhaps a calling towards anything in particular, or you've put a lot of pressure on yourself to find that one perfect thing that you should be doing. So you feel like you actually don't know what to do with your life. So maybe you can't relate to that there's a dream you're putting off. Maybe you feel like, I don't even know what the hell my dream is. I'm going to be doing a video about how to figure out what to do with your life, and I highly recommend you still watch this. You might not be able to relate, but I think there's something really good about acting as if. So act as if you know that there's a dream you've been putting off and you don't know how to get started. So this advice will help you once you figure out your dream, or maybe bookmark this to come back. But yeah, I love acting as if, like pretending you already have something that you don't have, and then you get it. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. I know I always say that. There's so many related topics. So I'm going to be doing this video on how to stop putting off your dreams, and then another video on how to figure out what to do with your life. So a bit of background on the whole putting off your dreams front. Going back, so I'm 26 at the moment. I have not always known what I want to do. Now I do know. Like now I know that for one, I'm obsessed with personal development. I could talk about this kind of thing all day long. I love talking about it. If you know me in person, I will try and steer every conversation to a personal development topic. I would love to be a coach, and that's what I'm working towards. And I love blogging about personal development and filming these videos, and I've found it for me, and that's probably going to manifest in a lot of different ways in my life. The word manifest just sounds so woo-woo, but what I mean is that's my interest, and there's probably going to be a lot of different ways that I explore that. But I figured out what I'm interested in. I haven't known that forever. The only kind of indication for me that I have always been interested in personal development, and I'm going to talk about this more in the how to figure out what to do one, but brief overview for context. I have always been obsessed with celebrity interviews and interviews with successful people, and trying to figure out what makes them different to everyone else. Why is everyone so obsessed with these people? How did they achieve what they achieved? That has always fascinated me since I can remember. But, you know, it's not like I can point to all these different things that showed me that this is where I'm meant to be. Anyway, I didn't know what I wanted to do in uni, for uni, but I'm smart, and smart people do degrees like law and finance, so that's what I did. I didn't really want to not be doing anything, so I think that's part of the reason as well. And about halfway through law, I kind of realized I didn't want to be a lawyer, but I didn't know what else to do, so I kept going. And I am really interested in the finance world as well, but I wasn't sure about whether I should work in it. And after I graduated in mid-2015, I started working in insolvency accounting, which is liquidations and bankruptcies. One of my good friends was working in that area and persuaded me that it'd be a good fit. So definitely no regrets. Really enjoyed the people, like working with the people that I worked with, and I learned so much. But yeah, so I didn't know what I wanted to do. But when I was at uni, I also started Smart 20s, my blog, in 2013. So that would have been about 2 years before I finished uni. So I was starting to get really into personal development, and through podcasts, mainly through business podcasts. And I had no intention of ever starting my own business, which I now have. So exciting. But I just, again, love interviews with successful people and trying to figure out what makes them different. How did they get there? It's always been so fascinating to me. So started my blog, and I've always had so much fear around it. It wasn't when I started that I was like, this is what I want to do, but I kept being pulled towards it. And even though I had so much self-doubt and fear, I was scared to tell anyone about it. I didn't tell anyone about it forever, including my boyfriend, Steve. I was just so scared of being criticized and judged. And I thought, like, why would anyone ever listen to me? I have no idea what I'm talking about. So I had so much self-doubt that I didn't think I could even handle anyone else having doubt, and that it would be enough to end me. So anyway, eventually it became my dream to be able to blog as my main thing, to talk about personal development, to film videos like this. So I spent a good amount of time stuck in that fear, in that putting off my dream space. So I really wanted to blog full time, but I wasn't actually putting in the effort to make that happen because I was so scared that I would fail. So I was guaranteeing it by not putting in the effort. And it wasn't until April 2016 that I sat myself down and said, okay, if you really want this, show it, prove it, like use your actions to prove how much you want it. And it took a while to create some momentum, but I did, and that's how I was able to follow my dream. It's not as, okay, I don't want to say it's not as amazing as it sounds. I'm so proud of myself, and I couldn't, this time last year, I never would have believed I'd be filming a YouTube video. I never would have believed that I would film it unedited. I don't edit these so that I can't over edit them, and also so it's just like how I would actually chat to you in person. So I had about, probably I would say, a year, if not more, of wanting to be able to blog as my main thing, but being too scared and thinking that there needed to be a perfect time, and just really being in that fear. And I really just want to talk about how to stop putting off your dreams. So maybe there's something you've been wanting to do and you haven't got started yet. Maybe you want to start a blog, a YouTube channel. Maybe you want to change careers. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you just want to start a family. Maybe you want to get a dog. Maybe you want to buy a house. Maybe you want to get fit and healthy. Maybe you want to wake up early. This is for if there's something you want to do, but you are telling yourself you're not ready, it's not the right time, and you know that you're not telling yourself that as a true gut instinct that it's not the right time. It's a fear and excuse that you think you need to feel ready. So when I quit my job, and I'm working part-time as well, so I blog and do this kind of thing during the day and on the weekends. Today is Sunday, but I love it so much. So I do this most of my time, and then that is my microphone. Let me hey. Oh, Everything is falling apart. We're still good. So, I work part-time as a receptionist at one of the hospitals here in Brisbane, and I went back to that was the job I was working in uni. It was perfect when I was a uni student, and I resigned from my full-time accounting job and went back to my job at the hospital, which is a perfect fit because I still need to have, like, I am an introvert in that if I need to recharge, I need to be by myself. Though there are certainly people that energize me and that I love talking to, if I'm burned out, I need to just chill by myself for a bit. And so I need that time by myself, but I don't want to be by myself all the time. And I'm a person, I need to speak to other people. So it's great in that sense to have my hospital job as well, so that I can still have those people that I see every day and just that environment. Like I know so many people like, oh, I just want to work from home. I know I'm home right now and I'm technically working, but for me, working from home isn't the dream. I want to be surrounded by inspiring people and working with them. So anyway, I resigned from my job in February. I finished up in March, and I didn't feel ready. So I just want to say that you're not going to feel ready. Like, I felt ready in the sense that I was like, just jump. And I actually there's a quote that's written on my desk just behind the computer that says, let 2017 be the year you jump even when your legs are trembling, which is how I feel about this year. Stuff like this as well, I mean, I don't feel nervous, but I have the fear and the self-doubt, and I am just doing it even though my legs are trembling, if that makes sense. Like, I really don't think we ever feel ready for anything that is going to force us to grow, because if we feel ready, I think as well it's kind of a sign that it's not something that we're really going to grow from, because our brain isn't freaking out. That makes sense. Like, if it's something that will force us to grow and evolve, our brain shouldn't want to do it because it always wants to avoid discomfort and pain, and new things and uncertainty come with any new experience and taking that jump. So I just want to share that you will want to feel ready, but you might need to jump even when your legs are trembling. There's actually a really beautiful quote at the beginning of 2017 that is a snippet from. It's on the Instagram account called Rainbow Salt. It's Bianca, I can't think of her last name off the top of my head. It's a tricky one to pronounce, I think. So anyway, when I read that, I was like, damn, that is such a good motto for this year. So I look at that every day. There's actually also I think it's a Swedish word. Let me get my post-it. I have it written in front of me every day. Steve told me about this word when I was kind of deciding whether I should take a leap. So I started taking my blog more seriously in April 2016, and I created an online course called Dream Habit, which is a 28-day habit bootcamp for perfectionists. I started selling the course and making money, and my blog has been gaining momentum, and I can see that it's definitely, everything's pointing in the right direction, and I can feel that momentum, which is amazing because I had 2.5 years where there was zero momentum. So it's, once you've had that long without any momentum, you can really feel the difference. So of course, taking a leap of faith, I mean, I'm not gonna end up homeless. Like, I live with Steve's Steve's twin's girlfriend, and Steve's parents. And, you know, they're not going to kick me out on the street if I don't have any money to pay the rent. And I also have a part-time job, which is more than enough money to live off. So in that sense, it's kind of not like I haven't burned my ships at shore, and I'm not, like I haven't put my back up against the wall in that sense. So it's less of a leap of faith, but it's still, you know, I've left my accounting job and sort of said goodbye to the corporate world for now, at least in that sense. But so I was feeling nervous and unsure, and Steve told me about this word. I think he'd mentioned it to one of his work mates, and they'd mentioned it. It's Resfeber. It's RESFEBER, and the definition of the word is the nervous feeling before undertaking a journey, the restless race of a traveler's heart before the journey begins, when anxiety and anticipation are tangled together. And I love that because it so accurately describes how I felt, how I still feel, so excited, but also still in that place of uncertainty. And yeah, you do really have to jump when your legs are trembling. I'll show you the other one I have. Ooh. Ah! This is the other one I have. Let 2017 be the year you jump even when your legs are trembling. This is what I look at every day. I also have this book. I love Estee Lalonde, the YouTuber. I have her book Bloom, which I haven't actually finished reading, but I love, I just have this as a reminder of what is possible if you do the work and believe in yourself enough to persist, because she's a YouTuber and was just sharing videos, and she has a bloody book. How fucking cool. I love Estee. I feel like I know her. Maybe one day I will meet her. But I have that book just as a reminder of what's possible. I love that it's called Bloom too. I just like seeing that word. I just wanted to say that about when I stopped putting off my dream. I didn't feel ready, and I didn't feel certain, and I didn't feel I just forced myself to do it, and I was overwhelmed by how supportive everyone was, and it really was nice to hear everyone say, just give it a go. And it's so true. That's part of the reason I wanted to make myself do it, that I knew I would never regret trying, and I would regret not trying. So even if everything turned to shit, I at least would have given it a real go. But if I kept putting it off and waiting for a better time, it would never come, because those excuses and that fear, you can let it consume you, and you can basically put off your dreams until your death. There's never going to be that deadline. I know a lot of you probably are crammers and you work well to a deadline. There is no deadline for this. So if you don't force yourself, it might not ever happen. And that's just a reality that unless you, often people will only stop putting off their dreams when they hit rock bottom, or have one of those life or death moments, or they know someone young that passes away, or something to shock them back into the reality that there's not that much time and you're never going to feel ready, and this is all we've got, so why not make the most of it? And I'm proud of myself for taking the leap. It will be an interesting ride, I have no doubt. I'm still very much in the beginning of that, let me just have some tea. Don't you love Kmart? Like how big this is. I never finish the whole thing. I always tip half out. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to say there is no deadline. So if you let yourself keep putting it off, you might never actually do it. And that would be the saddest thing. They always say on your deathbed, your regrets will always be along the lines of, I wish I'd been myself. I wish I had given that thing a go. Don't let that happen because now is the time, and you might need to jump when your legs are trembling, but that's what I've done, so you can join me in that. I'll be sharing how that goes. If you never hear from me again, well, you'll know how it's gone. Not great. But really, I think if you believe it can happen, it will. And making a commitment, taking that jump, makes it even more likely that it's going to happen. So, of course, nothing amazing is ever guaranteed, because if it was, it wouldn't be amazing, it wouldn't be groundbreaking. But the best we can do is show up, and that's what I've decided to do. I still, I had a strong gut instinct that I should do it, and I knew that it was just fear that was stopping me. And it's hard to tell whether it's fear stopping you or it's a gut instinct that you're not ready. I can't tell you which it is, though I would say it's probably fear. Though if you really are like, I'm not scared, it's just not the right time, great. But really ask yourself, if you are scared of failing, if you are scared of judgment, if you are scared of what others will think if you try it and it doesn't work, if you are scared of, having to defend yourself and your choices. Most of the people I know don't really know what blogging is. It's been interesting describing it to people, and how you make money and how you find people to connect with. It's still very new to a lot of people, so telling people that I was at uni for 6.5 years, and now I'm doing a technically unskilled job that I didn't need a degree to get, and I am doing this kind of thing which I also didn't need a degree to do. Like, some people would say that that's a waste, and I totally disagree. I am a huge fan of cutting your losses, as I will talk about many times. But in the scheme of things, and I know if one of your dreams is related to a career change or there's some kind of sunk cost involved, then that's what a uni degree can be. You feel like you've already invested so much time and energy, and I had a lot of late nights, early mornings getting my law degree and my finance degree. And I also did a diploma in French because just like having that overflowing plate of commitments. But in the whole scheme of my life, which hopefully will be many, many, many years ahead of me, 6.5 years is a long time to be at uni, but I finish working at 70, that's still 45 years. I'm not going to do something I don't like for 45 years just so I don't waste that initial investment. I learned so much at uni about self-management, time management, emotional management. I also learned a lot about writing, how to write well, how to be resourceful, how to make it look like you've read things that you haven't actually read. Especially if you decide you're never going to buy textbooks and you are not going to go to lectures and you're going to listen to them at double speed when you're at home online. So I've learned a lot. I definitely have no regrets at all doing those degrees. I had some very, very fun times. I also went on exchange and studied in Montreal for a semester in 2013, which was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. And I would never take anything back. And if you are worried about wasting your education that you've already invested in, or making it look like you are backflipping and having everyone be like, oh, you keep changing your mind, like you never know what you want to do. When you're at the end of your life, are you going to wish that you had just listened to your own instincts and followed that, or are you going to wish that you listened to everyone else? Probably not. Of course, it is good to get advice from other people, but, and I say this when I'm giving advice to my friends, it's all just my opinion based on my experience. You have to, take it, leave it, whatever. You have to listen to your gut. And I think, as I was saying, it's hard to know sometimes if what you're hearing is fear or if what you're hearing is a gut instinct, but we're capable of so much more than we ever think we are capable of. And I really think it's so important to not wait until you feel ready and to not need to know how to do it. So you don't have to wait until you know how to do something. When I started my blog, I've always been someone that thinks of myself, I'm just checking this is recording. I do this every time, but that'd be horrible. Now I have just lost my train of thought. Oh, someone is home. I'm so lost now. What was I saying? Yeah, I really think it's important not to keep putting things off, not to wait until you feel ready, and that it is so, so important to look at whether you're just scared or it is that gut instinct, and to really jump even if your legs are trembling. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.